We've seen the differences and similarities between handgun, rifle, and shotgun ammo. We now know what's inside and how it all works, but as with anything in life, knowledge is power, and knowing what goes into creating a bullet will make you even more equipped and capable when you're shooting them. So let's take a look at how a bullet is born. I'm Natalie Foster, and this is Love at First Shot, sponsored by Smith Wesson. We know how much fun it can be to shoot a bullet, but what are the elements that make it work? And what does it take to create one? Our friends at Hornady gave me a first-hand look inside the factory to observe the process and meet the people that make it all possible. First, we visited the smelting room where a gent inserts bricks of solid lead into the cauldron to be melted down and reformed into cylinders, which are then pressed into long strands of lead wire. These strands are the perfect diameter that will eventually become the various calibers. The wire is spooled up and taken to another machine where it is cut to precisely the right length. In another area of the factory, long sheets of copper are spooled out and a machine punches the copper into tiny little cups, which are then washed and polished to be prepared to house the lead core. The copper and lead are then pressed together in a motion that looks almost like choreography. Now that the bullet is assembled, it heads down the line to be inserted into the casing. When the casing is ready, the bullet is inserted and crimped into place. It is then taken to quality control where these highly trained eyes look for any flaws that may have occurred throughout the manufacturing process. Only the perfect ones make the cut to ship to you, the shooter. All of this for one of these. I'm with Renee Waltmath, who is the Director of Sales here at Hornady, and we're back here in shipping where everything goes out to you. Our viewers are going to be buying your ammo in different ammo stores. And what are you looking for when you're buying ammo for the first time?
The most important thing to look for is the caliber of ammunition. So when you're looking at your rifle or your pistol, the caliber is the most prominent thing on the barrel, and that's what you want to match up to the box of ammunition. With Hornady, if you're looking at a pistol box, the caliber is always going to be right on the top. It's the top number, so it's very prominent, and it will look this way whether it's a 9mm, a 38, it will always look this way to help you with that consistency to guide you. What the secondary number means on the 9mm, 115 grain, that is the grain weight of the bullet itself. And a good rule of thumb is, especially when shooting pistols, is the lighter the number, the less recoil that you will have.
All right, thank you so much. This has been really, really informative, and I don't know about you, but I am ready to go out and shoot some Hornady ammo.
Thank you very much.
I'm headed back to Texas, but first I need to make a pit stop at one of my favorite places. I'm here at the gorgeous Cabela's in Fort Worth, Texas, and we're gonna take a look at ammo. I promise it is not nearly as hard as you think it is. Let's go take a look. When you're on the hunt for ammo for the very first time, it can be a little intimidating because there are so many options out there. But don't worry, it's not as daunting as it seems. The important things to remember are very easy. Specifically, the most important number of all of them on the box is the largest one. As you can see here on this Remington 223 ammo, it's the largest number there, so I would be using it for a 223 rifle. And of course, that caliber is also printed on the side of my gun. It's really that easy. If you want to get a little more specialized, you certainly can, and you can find that information on the manufacturer's websites, or you can simply ask the people at the counter. Now, if you've got ammunition that isn't in a box, or perhaps it's in a bag or something like that that's unmarked, the easiest way to know what round you're putting in your gun is simply to look on the bottom of the cartridge. As you can see, it's standardized across all ammunition rounds. The manufacturer always puts the caliber or the gauge right there on the bottom of the cartridge, so you know exactly what's going in your gun. Here we have a couple of shotgun boxes, but the same basic rules apply. you'll see the largest number on the box, that's the 12 gauge. It's going to go through a 12 gauge gun. Same thing with the 20 gauge here, as you can see. And again, just like with the handgun and rifle rounds, you'll see the gauge printed there on the bottom of the cartridge. Now, if you have any questions about any of this, simply ask the people at the counter. But if you follow these rules of thumb, you'll be in really good shape. Hey, can I get the keys to this? I always wanted to drive one of these things. Well, now you've got an idea of what's going on with the larger calibers, but I think it's high time we give a certain caliber its due. It's a pretty universal round that's good for shooters of all ages and stages. That's right, it's the wonderful .22. Want to know why experienced shooters love it so much? Jessica explains. So Jessica, tell me about .22s and why you think it's a good round to start somebody on.
Super cheap for one thing.
That's huge. That makes a big difference, especially if you are target practicing a lot.
Absolutely. And then there's the fact that there's low recoil. And that's great, especially for women and for children. Once you get used to the fact that there's a little bit of recoil, just enough to make you feel that the gun is there, you can start moving on to bigger calibers. Then there's the other fact that it's low noise, so you can hunt for, varmint or small game. You're not even startling yourself, so if you're going to the range, you're a little bit more comfortable with shooting, and you're not, obstructing anybody else's shooting either.
That's a really good point. Manners, because it is nice to have good etiquette when you're out at the range. We've got low cost, low recoil, and low noise. Those are three really important factors, I think. That's a really good point. Well, thank you so much for your time today, and I really appreciate you showing us around.
It was a pleasure.
Now that I've finished up my Cabela's ammo run, here is my list of picks for your next visit to the gun store. Now, soon after you begin shooting, you'll likely find that you want to shoot more ammo than you can carry. Enter this handy ammo bag. This little carrier will hold plenty of ammo to keep you shooting all day long. And it's got pockets large enough for a cleaning kit, eye and ear protection, or even a small handgun. And when you've found that shooting has become your latest addiction, you may find it more economical to start buying ammo in bulk. So where do you store all of that spare ammo, you ask? Well, in one of these great ammo cases. They're super spacious and they have plenty of room for all your spare ammo. Now, we've loved all your questions, feedback, and input online, so keep it coming. Check out our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram feeds for more polls and even some behind-the-scenes photos. We'll see you next time on Love at First Shot, sponsored by Smith Wesson. Next time on Love at First Shot, it's time for us to finally shoot some of these rounds we've studied over the last 2 episodes. Guest Melanie Sturgis shows us the ropes. That was awesome.